Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 122, and today we're going to be doing battle with Akshan Kaisa. And so, Kaisa was one of my favorite champs out of the initial previews. It was definitely the champion I wanted to go after first. So we'll pull her up real quick, just in case you're not familiar with her. She is a new 5-cost champion, a 4/4 quick attacker with Evolve, and then when she's summoned or round start, if you have the attack token, just like it functions with Riven, you create a second skin in hand. Second skin lets you take all of the keywords off one of your allies and then just dump them onto Kaisa. And so, if you have managed to evolve, she levels up, in which she gets this, how do you call it here? Acathian Rain type ability, to where it deals 1 damage for each positive keyword to the enemy's nexus or enemy's units, then nexus from lowest to highest. So if your opponent has a 1 health, a 2 health, a 3 health unit, and then they have their nexus, of course, and say you're going to deal 5 damage, you deal 1 to the 1, 1 to the 2, 1 to the 3, 1 to the nexus, then you would circle back to that 2 health unit that now has 1 health, and you would deal 1 damage to it. And so the things that this got me immediately thinking of were a lot of the similarities we would see out of, say, Akshan Sivir. Both of these decks really like attacking multiple times, right? If we get 2 attacks out of the Acathian Rain, that's a pretty big boost of damage that we're going to be seeing. So we're playing a deck that has access to both Golden Aegis and then Cataclysm for the additional free attacks. And then with those free attacks, if you think to the likes of using a deck like Yuumi Pantheon, to where you could be hitting with a big Overwhelm unit, Cataclysm plays fantastically in those terms, and then Kaisa also works with Cataclysm and getting a double shot out of that Acathian Rain. And so the next kind of piece to the puzzle here is how much are we going to play Evolve? Do we really care about flipping our Kaisa? How deep into that do we want to go? And that's where we start to see cards like Voidling. This makes us really ask ourselves the question, are we willing to play units that are pretty bad just to catch these other keywords, right? We don't have to worry about that with these Demacia cards, right? Fleet Feather Tracker's just good. Sorta has Challenger. Brightsteel Protector is just good. Barrier counts towards Evolve. Petricite Broadwing still just good, right? Has Barrier, Formidable, 2 abilities that count towards hitting an Evolve. And so, how far out of our way do we want to go just to hit these additional keywords? And I'm pretty convinced these Evolve cards are all just good, right? What if you say, well, I'm not going to play this on turn 1 unless I absolutely have to. I can play it on, say, turn 3 to boost a Petricite Broadwing. Sure, that's something different. But what if this is just good on, say, like turn 6? Say on turn 6 we play Voidling and Kaisa. We have an Elder on the board already, and then we just collect this gigantic mountain of stats, and then still just have a really well-suited cheap play. I think this is going to work out just fine. And so we are playing a couple of Voidlings, a couple pairs of the Betheldi Elder. And then the big evolve that I'm actually really interested in is the Void Blaster. This is where we're going to be catching Overwhelms. This is a way for us to pass Overwhelm off to Kaisa, and then another fantastic unit to be taking advantage of both the Cataclysm and the Golden Aegis. Last but not least, we may need an additional way to try and pick up the keywords. That's where we're going to have the Vicaran Bruisers. The Bruisers generating the Lucky Finds. There is a fair amount of overlap between what you can actually generate with a Lucky Find and what you can already get with our units, right? You can get Quick Attack, Challenger, Fearsome, Tough. Let's say Challenger. There's like 5 keywords you can get off of this, and the only one our units don't have is Tough, but you can find a lot of abilities spread throughout your deck that this just works fantastically with. And then also, he's another big user of Supercharge. I'm not quite sure how I feel about Supercharge. I think it's a fine card. It's not the same as playing Might, right? Might gives your unit bonus attack. It's not the same as playing something like Rite of Negation to collect or protect your units, because this has focus instead of fast. But this does give you a lot of versatility between getting like safe attacks with your Kaisa by giving her Spell Shield, giving something Spell Shield before you play a Concerted Strike, or going Overwhelm mode with it and trying to end out the game. And so I'm very curious to see how Supercharge plays out. And so that's it. That's our deck. That's what we'll be doing battle with today. Lots of really nice synergies here between Kaisa and Demacia and all the Evolve cards. You all know how we do it here. We have to pay the pay-to-win price. I paid it big time today. I've already gone out here and done it. Kaisa has the premium treatment. We aren't going Star Guardian. We're just going Prismatic, but she is ready for battle out here looking pretty strong. And that's it. Good stuff. Click on our deck and let's go. All right, off to battle. What's this set even called? Rise of the Darkness. I can't remember. The World Walker stuck to me really quick, but I couldn't quite remember the name of the of this one. Oops. But all right, on to battles. Getting to battle here with Eve Kaisa. It should be okay. I've played some practice games. I haven't been super impressed with Evelyn, but there's definitely a lot of power there. It's just going to take a bit of figuring out. I don't think anybody's quite done it on day one yet, but reasonable enough start with us. And this is kind of interesting to watch in with the Void Blaster. So we have our first unit. Doesn't have any bonuses to evolve yet. You can see the nice little handy dandy keyword thing down here at the bottom. But as we move into the next turn, we're going to be getting one off of the Challenger from the Fleet Feather Tracker. We're going to get a second one off of the Barrier. And now our Void Blaster up to 2 keywords. Now, the big thing to remember with him is that Evolve doesn't count, right? He looks like he has 2 keywords, but Evolve says other keywords. I have +2/+2 once you've given or summoned allies, 6+ other positive keywords. And so we're going to have to do a little bit more work to get the Void Blaster up and running. Definitely not a +2. I kept getting like really confused with the Void Blaster as to why I would play it under this situation, and then he just wouldn't have 4 stats. He would only have 3 instead of 2. It's because of the the evolve doesn't count for itself. But we're coming along kind of nicely here. This is one of the reasons why I'm worried about how decent Evelyn is going to be. She's pretty vulnerable out here right now. And so opponent needs a way to like burst a unit into play, which you can't do with Shurima. Otherwise, Evelyn just doesn't provide good blocks. So I'm going to actually come out here, work on the Husk a little bit. This should help keep this Evelyn from flipping. She's just gonna straight up take damage if she wants to block out here. Yeah, she doesn't do that well in the face of challengers. And so I'm curious about the ideals of, say, playing Bilgewater and then using the Eye of Nagakaboros or something as a means to burst out Husk kills. But, oh boy, this seems slow. He doesn't have any Husks, and so ideally we'll be able to just Cataclysm our Bruiser into Evelyn. Say LOL, bro. Nice attempt. Alright, so we're going to lose the Bruiser, it looks like. I don't think it's quite worth protecting with this Sharp Sight. I mean, we could. How do we feel about this otherwise? Like, he's clearly not flipping Evelyn this turn. But we would then lose our Bruiser to the thing. And it just doesn't feel that great. We can Cataclysm Evelyn next turn if we want. Ooh, that counts. I was curious if this one would actually pop off. The Sharp Sight doesn't give, like, it counts can block elusive this turn as a keyword, right? We've played one Challenger, we played one, here, let me see. This is our first quick attack, or we can pick up Tough. We don't have quick attacks yet because we haven't found Akshan or our champion. I think I'm just going to go with Tough. But, right, I was curious if Sharp Sight would count because it puts this weird elusive fuzzy thing onto your unit. Turns out it did. And now we're going to hit the Evolve with our Voidling, ideally. We definitely hit it here with the Elder, but I'm leaning towards, well, we'll probably just play both, right? We'll play the Voidling, we'll play the Elder, and then we'll still have the mana for a Golden Aegis. Do we have to pivot because of this dumb steam? I don't think so. I think we're still okay. Our board looks pretty powerful here. Do we want to go for this, or do we want to try and take down the Merciless Hunter at this point? Maybe we take down the Hunter. That looks like a good attack, right? His blocks are all Garbo. He needs a combat trick for these to not suck. If he has a Quicksand, that's the kind of scary one in this space. But I think we can probably punch in the Voidling if we have to. Like, if he has Quicksand, then Steam is going to block one of our big units. Oh, just calling it a day, huh? That can't feel good. can't feel good, right? There's a challenger. I was gonna say, what if we can find like quick attack for our Vacaran Bruiser, and then he should have a like an additional avenue for safe attacks here. I'm gonna give him this barrier challenge just in case. We should just be winning the game here at any rate, but it feels a little safer putting it on the Bruiser. Got him. GG, my dude. Welcome to the first battle of the new expansion. Getting wrecked by Bust. Mark it in your diary. That's what you tell him, right? Put it in your diary. July 20th, 2022. Got wrecked by Bust in his first video game. All right, on to some Gwen. All of the champions have been accounted for now. This hand just sucks. Gotta find some other things. This is kind of like my worry with Voidlings, right? We don't want to be playing them this early because it's going to take forever to flip. We only say we have differing keywords on our Voidlings, like we're not going to play them until a few turns from now. I think it feels safe to say like this feels like a 5-drop. And are we okay at like just having that good amount of stats but not being able to play it until later in the game? We can play it right now if we need to. Like, Elusive is actually kind of tempting to drop. I think I want to actually come out and protect these stats. It's a little worrisome that opponents playing, like, potentially 1-damage pings. Like, I think I would be a little bit more worried if he was playing Annie's, right? We might be seeing, like, Blade's Edges, and we might be seeing Vile Feasts and stuff. But I think he's going to be doing more combat-oriented type things. And so Vile Feast might live in this deck, but I don't think we're going to run into a Blade's Edge on this one. All right, second keyword, quick attack coming out of Akshan. I'm curious if, like, when you get to the spot to where you just, like, don't want to take down the harrowed units. We can't attack here because Callista's too good, but, right, he's not getting any bonuses out of Hallowed if he just doesn't get to kill off the unit. Where are we at? Our evolution is quite low. What do you got? It's hard to see with the, sorry for the app tracker, that's why I keep pulling it up. He's got Fated this round. I think we're fine with just a 3-bank and waiting on the Voidling. We can see what opponent does, but, well, actually, this would be keyword number 3. Bruiser has the opportunity to maybe pick up 2 next turn. Looking to give all of our Kaisas elusive off of this board. Kind of fucked up, dude. Kind of fucked up. Oh, can we still do this? Grant allied Kaisas everywhere the positive keyword, so we can still give our Kaisas elusive. Interesting. Also still counts towards our Warlord's Palace. I dig it. Good to know. Good to know. That's not the kind of interaction I was aware of. I knew that you could use your Kaisa things with action, but I didn't know. Like, I was thinking in terms of, like, Tom Kench, right? When you have Tom Kench on the board, you get the second dinner or whatever it's called, and then you kind of lose out on it. If your Tom Kench dies, like, if you replay a second Tom Kench, you can't use the first one's dinner. Like, however you want to call out this scenario. And so I'm kind of interested to see it work like that. This unit sucks. None of his units have died this game. LOL. All right, we can start fucking this stuff up now. Let's bring this thunder in. This is gonna be sweet. More bright steels. Where are we at in terms of evolution now? I'm looking to perhaps start using our bruisers this round. Probably safe to just pick up a concerted strike. We could double cataclysm. Like if we want to start going like ham, we can look to supercharger our Vacaran Bruiser, so it's going to have spell shield and then just start dropping cataclysms. Fuck it. That's the proper way to start off any combat, right? You say fuck it. We hit evolves. Where are we at? 5 of 6. We can get up. We can get up to tough and hit 6. Not sure if we'll want to play the Voidling this turn, but we're about to start popping off with the evolves, having some big bros out here doing the cool shit, if you will. Interesting. Okay. A little less cool shit, I guess. Recallistas. So do we want to pick up our evolve? Like, overriding the Brightsteel Protector doesn't seem that bad. Definitely not overriding the Warlord's Horde. I think I want to get this good attack with the Voidling, but then only have him lose 1 unit on the turn. I think that's okay. Yeah, I don't want him picking up all of these Halloweds. I'll still attack with the Vicar and Bruiser. But that Glimpse Beyond was kind of good. I wonder if we should actually not attack with the Bruiser, because then he's just going to get the strongest dead ally. Okay, well, he has a dead Callista, so this thing is just active now. Okay, picks up his first point of Hallowed on turn 7. Whoops. But yeah, I think this is kind of an interesting space and with these Voidlings, right? A 1 mana 3/3 tough on turn 7 isn't that bad, but it's in large part a matter of if it's still just good enough at this stage. Supercharge is going to fall off, so our Bruiser is going to get weak. Let's come over here and protect Akshan. Right, and so that's kind of like the odd balance with these things. We could have, I've kind of like thinking in my brain piece, we could have tried some of the other ones. Like, I'm not playing any of the expensive evolves. They always have some potential. But I also look at the thing like, there's that 1-drop Lurk unit. The 1-drop Lurk unit with Fearsome as another kind of potential target to just load up on these abilities. And so there's some interesting options out there. We aren't, like, one of the things I kind of want to determine with this video is how all-in you have to go with Evolve to get it to pop off. And then if we want to try and play some of the more expensive cards. I feel like not just me, but everyone on the planet kind of like really misevaluated Bard and misevaluated Alawi. And so I think it's kind of interesting to see where they're going to land in terms of picking up how good Evolve is and how to best use it. But here, I'm leaning towards just trying to kill his Callista again. He's about to do some awkward stuff. Like, I'm not super amped about him having, like, Midnight Raids and stuff for Eternal Dancers, right? He's going to left attack with Ruined Reckoner. He's going to get the bonus stats and then get rallies out of this. And so I'm really leaning towards just popping the Ruined Reckoner here with a Cataclysm. So that we don't have rally attacks coming at us. It's a job for Akshan. Is there a way to see how hallowed they are? Like, I'm pretty confident he hasn't lost any units up to this point, but I'm curious where his hallowed stands. Okay, so he's going to flip his Callista. That's fine. I think. The dancers gonna bring back Callistas. Is this gonna be bad? We about to get like OTK'd here? He's popping off, that's for certain. Callista's flipped. She's bonded to the dum-dum. Hang on. I want to flip our action this turn. That's happening. And put damage onto this dum-dum, and then just throw away a unit in front of Callista because it's just going to die to the bond. Okay. I'm gonna draw 2. We need to find our Kaisa. That's not her. Lucky find our big boy. He's gonna be bigger. He's about to be a bigger boy, but didn't quite pull off everything we needed there. And then a barrier for action. He's done with rallies now, right? He's going to get a bunch of weird shit happening with these Eternal Dancers bringing back good units, but we're at least okay for the moment. He's still got 2 Midnight Raids as well. Much combo. Many combo coming right at us. Is this just infinite? Like... Maybe it would be if you lined it up correctly with Callista. To where you Callista back the dude, and then he puts the Midnight Raid in your hand. Oh, Jesus. Wonder why he's risking his dancers. Well, he is about to just get a... He is going to go infinite with Callista, right? Since we don't have a way to interact with her.
If I can save a life, I must.
Why isn't he Midnight Raiding? What am I missing? Huh. Alright then. Are we ever just lethal here? We got to do 11. He's got 2 blocks. Just if he blocks the bruiser, he's going to take 2. Puts this in front of our big boy. We're going to hit for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It says 11. But if he interacts in any way, the game's just kind of done. I'm kind of curious at what else he's packing. I think I'm just going to go for some big boys. It's so weird. Why didn't Midnight Raid? I wonder if he disconnected or something. Well, here comes more units. I guess that gets that out of the way. Oh fuck. That's one I was worried about. Where he gets 2 units now. So we're like 1 short this way. Damn. I'm still so weirded out by this. Maybe we should have just gone for it, but it's like if we go for it there and he has a removal spell, our day is just done. But weird. All right. Well, the next turn is upon us. Probably pretty big. Probably pretty good draw in the concerted strike. Let's do it like this. Let's strike with Akshan first. And then the spell shielded one. Okay. It's gonna get a rally out of this, gain a ton of health, but I think it's okay. Look to throw away our Bethel the Elder. We got elusives in the Voidling, and then we're gonna look to do damage with our big bruisers here. I'm curious if we need to. We could probably safely just overwrite the Warlord's Horde, right? We can get another. Try and get a quick attack, or try to get a challenge down with the tracker, just so that it doesn't have to. If he has another fearsome, we don't, or another lifesteal, we don't have to worry about it. Weird. That's strange. I would assume that we're okay here now, but that's so weird that he was passing that turn with all the midnight raids. Does that not like work with Callista or something? That seems like it's probably the entire point of the deck. Alright, well we gotta win. Market a W for bust. I gotta put that one in my diary. I hope that combo just isn't a thing. Like, I'm not sure how to go about playing around that if they're able to get that cycle going with the midnight raids. If we just have to focus, like, I guess we need to focus heavily on just killing the Callista, but you can't stop a lot of that. Interesting. You just gotta have decent removal or something. All right, let's see how Fizzbro goes about this. Looks like he might be playing something similar. He's got Bandle City instead of Demacia, but both of us are doing battle with the Kaisas. I was kind of happy with that Voidling catching elusive. Definitely not playing him just for regeneration. That's kind of turdy. Our hand here also kind of turdy. We're gonna start falling out of this. We just need something to do. All right, augment. Could technically work by playing Lucky Finds, but fuck. Do we have to be all in on the lantern? Like, probably. He's already getting pretty far ahead with it. Fine. Just sad noises. make sad noises. Just get 2 for 1 down here pretty hard. Spending 5 mana to take advantage of his... How do you even want to call this? Like, 1? Getting 2 for 1 and a 4 mana advantage since he did get the Grandfather Fey down. Kind of brutal.
You wasters came a long way for a whoopin'.
Hit 3 keywords now. Pretty far behind.
If I can save a life, I must. Wasters, where you at? Hey, I'm right here.
Okay. How many has he played? He plays the one with lifesteal. Oh god, he's just gonna hit us with Kaisa, isn't he? Giving our Kaisa augment is kind of interesting, though. He's definitely playing Kaisa next turn. He's gonna be so close. Gonna get to the spell shield. out of the Owlcat. Kaisa has quick attack that he hasn't hit yet. Oh, sure.
You are coming with me.
I get the guards, Bob gets the goods.
Blah, blah.
Might not be that bad. Doesn't seem like he's really doing anything. I was just worried about a big papercraft turn, but if we're just taking 2 damage from Fizz, I don't really care. He probably can't afford to attack into our Bruiser. Would have been sweet if he did. I want a lucky find to put something on Voidling to try and boost our Kaisa, but I don't think that's quite going to happen here. Would you pick up Fearsome? Fearsome's actually kind of interesting on this board.
Here's where we make our stand.
Gonna wait on the second skin. I think ideally we should be able to get an attack in. If he has quicksand, it's gonna hurt because we're gonna lose our Kaisa. But if we can really like load up after this turn, I think it'll be okay. He's not blocking Kaisa, makes me feel better.
Weight of my mantle.
Mama's home.
What you got? This is our first spell shield. Do we want Fearsome? I feel kind of safe putting the Voidling on the board. Okay. That'll flip our Kaisa. And now we should just be able to get a pretty strong AoE. Oh, does this thing target? Deal 1 for each positive keyword that I have. So we should be able to kill Fizz with this, right? If we're going to Cataclysm Kaisa into something next turn, she's going to do 3 keywords, which should hit Fizz, this 1-drop, and then something else. I think that works. Guess we're about to have a learning moment. The downside to Fearsome, we just do our other Fearsome unit. I guess it doesn't matter a ton since we're already popped off here, but it's just not doing anything. Oh, you don't get to see the targets until after, but it should be hitting Voidling, hitting Fizz, hitting Owlcat. It'll pop the Owlcat spell shield. But
Can't hide from the light.
right, see he didn't have a spell to try and stop it, but pretty strong. Oh, the weakest. It didn't hit. I was thinking in terms of health. Okay.
Let's cook 'em.
I think we're still in a pretty good spot.
Arda's gonna make a meal of 'em.
We should have put our bonus out. I forgot that this unit was just going to die to our Kaisa ability. What do we want? We want to pick up a Fearsome off this turn. We could put Barrier onto something.
I've got your back.
Then the Barrier will transfer over to Kaisa. We need Overwhelms this turn. Like, that's the downside to what we have going on here. Augment, pretty good though, right?
Steal from the rich,
Pretty good.
give to the us.
Honor guide me.
We don't have any Overwhelms, right? No.
Time to burn you away.
Something like that. Alright. Okay. I mean, I think this game's done. Just a matter of dotting the I's and crossing the T's and stuff. This is one of the things I'm not stoked about. It's really challenging to see how much damage Kaisa is going to do. There's no like indicator on any of his units how much damage is coming in. So we got to look at this thing and say, okay, 5 damage is about to happen. It's probably going to hit each of our units once and the Nexus once, but it gets really tough to see how this damage is going to play out, and then especially once you're getting into combat.
Wonder how much this is worth.
Okay. There's finally the Overwhelm, just a little late to the party. We could have maybe thought about that a little bit better and put it on our Voidling and then transferred the Voidling over, but yeah. Just make a noise. Alright, no Papercraft Dragons, please. We died a Papercraft Dragon here. Alright. Gonna find that gift for Renekton. Maybe we're good. It's got 1 fearsome blocker at this point. Got 2 fearsome blockers at this point. God damn, this is gonna take forever. Alright, so little to big. Use the Bruiser to hook his good unit. Commit to the old combat. It's not going to be lethal. Maybe it will be. This block on Kais is going to have to move, and that prevents some damage, but... Oof, okay. Got there. GG.
A small victory is a victory all the same. Good work.
All right. So, on a bit of a rant at the beginning of the previous video. Still stand by it. If you're not familiar, the way Riot works with the start of the sets is they always post on their patch notes some of the places to where you can go and view the new cards, right? And at the beginning of Runeterra, they used to kind of advertise with all of the smaller sites that were trying to generate content-based articles and stuff, and all the different trackers, and then they eventually just switched to doing Mobalytics only, or Mobalytics and 1 or 2 other sites, which I get. If you're trying to use that as a means of advertisement, which they are, then the biggest source of people and advertising and stuff is going to come out of the big trackers and get drawn in from the League of Legends. And so it made a lot of sense that they were actually coming forth with using Mobalytics. But like all the small time people have now left. Like anyone that was a small timer in terms of like a lot of the sites have died. LOR Guardians died. A lot of the trackers are gone. And I used to talk quite a bit with the LOR Guardian people. And that was a big thing. They used to get like a week lead up time to the sets coming out. And then Riot dropped it from a week to a couple of days, and the day before, then they just quit using them altogether. And so if you're using that as your kind of prime advertising means, it just gets taken away. And so what it was so upsetting to me was, if you're going to just give it to the big, the big people, the big dogs, they need to have their shit in order and ready to go. And I'm pretty under the impression that Mobalytics is just transferred into maintenance mode. They don't really care anymore. They really struggled with the release of Runeterra Champions, and then they made a big post about how they're just not going to update any of their features anymore because updating to the Runeterra Champions was a big deal, and they can't deal with that kind of thing happening again. And so for them to still have that kind of big boost right at the beginning of the season and then just not take any kind of advantage of it is a bit unfortunate, because that was the way that you would draw in the smaller creators and the smaller people as a way to get them to be a part of the community. And so there's kind of like the second piece that has come like to fruition with it here recently in terms of a lot of the streamers didn't get early access, and a lot of them are very upset about it now. And like, I get it, but I think that that's a different story. I feel like there's probably a human being that manages a lot of the early access stuff. There's a pretty good chance that they could have gone on vacation or had a project or got behind or whatever, and it's I would assume quite a bit of effort to go and get into contact with like 30 and 40 and 50 people and coordinate and organize all that. I'm not surprised that people got missed and got left through the cracks and didn't get everything happening how they wanted. I think that's completely different in terms of trying to get in touch with a shitload of people compared to having a business arrangement with a major company. And so when like the streamer thing falls apart, fine. The situation that they have with Mobalytics, I think, to be a little absurd. Oh, hope we hit something. I wasn't paying total attention here. I just knew I wanted to flip this Kaisa next turn, and so I went ahead and played the Voidling. I think we're still okay.
There's still time. There has to be.
There's Kaisa. We have a Overwhelm ready to throw on her. We can just go ahead and supercharge. Kind of leaning towards that because these are going to be pretty good Overwhelm attacks, and so we'll just be giving her Fury. Oh, fucking kidding me. Okay. Alright, Drissoth, this battle's probably yours. We're just out here trying to do cool stuff, and he's still just playing Nami Twisted Fate. Alright. Bring Kaisa right back to the party. We're just like so far away from the lethal now, though.
I can almost taste it.
These games are so done when they have a shitload of mana plus a Nami. Pretty sure we're just dead here. Okay, this is also annoying. Now if you want to concede, you have to click 2 buttons to get to the thing. You can still press escape, but I'm curious as to why that kind of change would be made, and I hope it's something that's going to be positive in kind of like the near future, right? It seems really dumb to just lock the cog behind that button at the top right, but it does have that friend feature attached to it up there as well, and so I feel like there's something coming with this. We can click on it again once the time is appropriate, but right up here in the top right with the R button, and now it brings out the friends, and it has this big nothing spot of dumbness, right? Whatever you want to call this, as to why they're not going to let some graphic designer just be like, LOL, let's leave all this empty space out here because this looks professional. I would assume that there's things in the works with this, and this is just kind of a work in progress that made its way to the production. But it is kind of frustrating now. I have to get in the mindset to just press escape as opposed to pull this up. All right, we got a good one on here. Spell Shield. Well, spell shields are good, but not something I'm really looking to pull off this early.
Let's go make some friends, Tippers.
I'm curious what keywords we would take on a turn 1 Voidling. Like if we hit a elusive, that was good. Challenger, maybe. But beyond that, there's not a ton that I really want to get value out of the Voidling with. I was going to say, assume he's just going to take it. He's playing the burn deck here, so he's not looking to just weaken down our Broadwing. We'll see how these upcoming turns go. I like how we can get all these challengers on the board, but we might have to play defensive this turn with the Bright Steel. Maybe not. So we could play the Merciless Hunter and try and trade it into Ziggs. Do we still want to put the vulnerable onto Ziggs, though? Because, right, say we put our unit down and he's like, LOL, just not attacking. I think I want to make sure we take down Annie, though. She's the one that's going to start becoming scary. Not scary this turn, but will be scary in the near future. He does bring the Ziggs in still. Okay, just prevent the damage. We won't kill Annie. Her ability will weaken the Broadwing to 1, and then it won't deal enough damage to take her down, but we need to be in and protect ourselves mode here just a little bit, and we can try and take Annie down with like the Voidling if we want to. Would you hit something cool? Lifesteal? Lifesteal is actually really important in this one. Especially if we can cycle around to the next turn and switch the lifesteal over to Kaisa. Oh, just bringing the heat right from the get-go, huh? Okay. I like your style, dude. So let's see what we can do. We can't currently block the Bakai Reaper. We can send Cataclysms at it if we get a chance that way. But potentially do some scary stuff here. What are the chances that he just opens on us? Has to be low, right? Gonna go ahead and protect. Oh, I didn't even realize that was gonna. Oh, that's so sick. I didn't even realize we were gonna hit the evolve off of this. That just has to end it, right? That's so sick. Also known as planned it that way. Okay. How much mana are we going to have next turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd like to have the full 8 so we can Cataclysm our Kaisa. So I'm not going to play the Fleet Feather Tracker. We can just block all this stuff and not die. I guess we can't block the Bakai Reaper, but at the end of the day, this is all still fine.
I'll stop you.
Right, we're going to Kaisa. We're going to shift the lifesteal over to her, and then we have the Cataclysm attack as well. So we'll get 2 attacks in with Kaisa. She'll get double, whatever this ability thing's called. Acacian Rain. Cathian Rain, making it rain. How many keywords you got, girl?
Out here, you're moving or you're dead.
So we're starting with this, right? Now we can like go ahead and Cataclysm now. And then maybe that'll give us a chance to just use action to attack with and stuff. But yeah, that one was clearly done. That was a nice collection of keywords that we had on our units there. GG. Oh shit. All right, next battle. There we go. Sometimes them clicks are hard to do. I've already played one person not playing new cards. Well, I guess that I'm curious if Drosoth found a way to put the new tentacle card into Nami Twisted Fate. If there's somebody that could do it, it would be them. But I've kind of like high hopes for the new tentacle cards. I think that's just there's a great base for a non-Alawi deck with Tentacle Slam, the new tentacle card, and then the draw 2, and then just being like, well, I'm just playing these good cards, nothing else. And so we'll see. We'll see if something like that turns up. But, all right, what was that? Braum with Evelyn. I'm curious what that amounts to. I wonder if you can. I wonder if you can use the Forbidden Legacy for Frozen Legacy, whatever that the +2/+2 thing is. That gives a unit +2/+2 forever. And if you can pull off something with that, in terms of using Evelyn with the husks. I mean, you got a 1 in 10 shot after the first one, right? So nothing could go wrong. All right, I've really enjoyed coming in and just challenging down all these husks, though. It feels very good. Like, Salter is not a good card if he doesn't have the husk to go along with it. So, and pretty sweet. These challengers are quite good against Evelyn.
You are nothing. Worthless. Don't waste my time.
Alright, are we going to have to open challenge this thing down? It feels like kind of good taking 2 of them down, even if we just have to trade our Fleet Feather Tracker for the Warded Husk at this point. Like, we don't have to, I guess. We do have access to more Broadwings, but do we want to, like, let him get the unit? And then how bad is it if the unit he gets is either Evelyn or Braum? That's kind of like a scary proposition with his, like, turn 4 with all of these good 4-drop units, right? If he gets the flipped Evelyn with the bonus Husk, or if he gets, like, the bonus onto... if he gets the bonus onto Braum, that seems kind of meh as well. So we'll trade out the Fleet Feather Tracker. I think that's okay. Then the rest of our attacks look pretty decent. Void Blaster, you got some work to do. We're about to get close, at least, in terms of the Void Blaster, right? We'll go up to 4. When we get Challenger off the existing Broadwing, he'll take us up to 5. So we're getting close. I think I still want to get banked up to the mana, though. We're about to come in and drop these Concerted Strikes, and so I'd like to have some mana banked up for that. And Kaisa shows up. She's not going to be able to flip, right? We don't have enough mana or enough keywords. It is interesting knowing that Sharp Sight, though. I'm going to have to watch again with the Sharp Sight to make sure that counts as a keyword, right? Because it definitely doesn't feel like it should count as a keyword, but if it works in our favor, so be it, I guess. What did he do? What is all this shit going on? Looked like Evelyn just ate like three husks. I'm not quite sure what happened. What is this? She's an 8/7 tough. Okay. She is going to be picking up the Challenger eventually, which is kind of scary, but we can realistically just take an 8 hit from Evelyn right now and not worry about it too much. I'm leaning toward just spending all of our mana to get the Kaisa on the board. Okay.
I can almost taste it. The void. Harder. Okay.
So it's like Evelyn will flip back, but she's not that big, right? She's not gonna... What does she have, like, +2? She's gonna have 3 attack? Eh. Mouth noises. Oh, where were we at? We were at 3? 3 keywords, now we're at 4 keywords, right? So weird that Sharp Sight does that. No complaints from our side of the table, but I think that's a very strange interaction that Sharp Sight, I guess, counts as elusive. All right. Oh, he's had enough followers die? How do they all die so fast for this Evelyn to flip? That's wild. But we did just pick up a good one here in the barrier. It's like slightly awkward. Well, it's like I want to put the barrier onto Void Blaster so that then I can put barrier plus overwhelm onto Kaisa. But we don't have the targets for it. I mean, I guess we could preemptively target something with the shaped stone. It does kind of suck to see it work out like this. Alright, he gets some kind of big unit we don't really care about. Who would we want to put those stats on? I'm looking at, like, well, he's gone, like, super tall on this Evelyn and stuff. Let's just hook her out of combat. Can we even take down this other one? We should probably just play this on Akshan. He feels like the safest target. Alright, there's the evolve.
I know what they are. I know how to destroy them.
going to shift the barrier plus the overwhelm over onto Kaisa. The question here is, do we need to do like +1 attack onto our units? I don't think so. That seems kind of bad. So let's use this one.
Wasters, where you at?
Enter the battle step. Took Evelyn out of combat. The rest of his blocks are officially booty. I think that's okay. Do we want a +1 attack now that we're here? I feel like we probably want to draw a card off of the Relic of Power, but let's at least wait and see what that could potentially be. Okay, rip action. All right, predict draw. These are all pretty weak. So hoping for something more powerful. I think we just want to skip over all this. We either need like a high valued card like a Kaisa or another Bruiser, or we need to pick up interactivity. We need to be concerted striking down this Evelyn. Now Brahm's here to party. What? Oh, she gets the bonuses as well. I guess that makes sense. But do we want to just go ahead and concerted strike now? As it stands, he gets to kind of pick and choose how this combat works because he has the 2 challengers, so let's just wait. I mean, we may want to actually just kill Braum. He's going to get the Poro either way, right? Because we're going to strike him once. But he's just going to heal all of that back. Oh, I guess we're just getting lethal. We have to target the Evelyn.
They've breached.
Okay. Uh-oh, he's thinking about it. Are we going to get troll chanted? That would be kind of bad. Ew, 3 sisters. We're just dead to 3 sisters. Okay. We have another Kaisa ready to go, but we're pretty far behind now. Not sure what we needed, like a rally or another barrier or something would have been good. Something. The rally, I feel like it's probably a little late at this point. So what can we do with Kaisa? We can open. She'll kill the Husk, assuming he doesn't have another unit to play. His blocks are pretty good with her just coming down, though. Which is this? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can't play everything. Trying to think if we have like the room to Merciless Hunter down something small. It's like if we play Kaisa, we just don't even get to do too much in the way of attacking. Well, can we actually just lethal him? I guess that's a valid question. We do have a bunch of Overwhelm. So the interesting things here, Kaisa has barrier, and I forgot about it, so that's kind of cool. I don't think she's going to do too much damage this turn outside of her ability, but she is going to kill off this domination, and so we have a free attack into it. She gets to come in for pretty free. Game says lethal, but he's going to be making blocks. Oh, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In terms of keywords, she's only got like 3 keywords. Gross. Okay. We could have picked up one more. I don't think it would have mattered, but We might as there was no reason to not put Fearsome onto Kaisa. And the Howling Abyss. I feel you. Probably just dead to the Overwhelms here, right? How big's Braum? Only 4? Alright, we might survive it. The downside to Voidling. Not the best draw in turn 9. Ezreal. Oh, Jesus. Probably just dead here, but we do get the good, the big chest if he doesn't outright kill us. I have to assume that he's just got to be opening at this point, but maybe we should have just played the Voidling. Make sure we have a blocker. That's not enough. God, we're losing our Kaisa as well. I was wondering if that was going to be bad, but I just kind of had in my head that we didn't need to use the Kaisa, and he was just going to hook in our Merciless Hunter, because that's where the kill was coming from. Turns out it didn't play out that way.
Don't want to die? Don't do terrible things.
You're not big enough to kill any of these dudes. Alright. GG.
Soon enough.
Interesting though. That was like the first time I've got to see Evelyn kind of like pop off. I don't feel like I'm really impressed, but she also didn't hit any of the big keywords. She didn't hit Overwhelmed, didn't hit Elusive. So I guess that was a touch of a low roll, but we didn't on our opportunities to interact with her, they didn't fly. Okay, the Barrier Kaisa. Lots of new Barrier cards coming out of the new set. I haven't given them that much time of day. I don't think Shen's worth it, but some of those other ones are fine. I mean, Barrier is a kind of a real deal style ability, and so getting multiple barriers and reusing barriers is kind of strong. Let's be real, I'm not going to get hype about playing playing Shen. I think I could have gotten behind like playing an Elder, since we can interact a little bit with the Fleet Feather Tracker. It's just the Broadwing is such a good attacker. And then playing against what I assume has like Shurima units, because he's playing Shurima, and then all of the new barrier kind of units, they all tend to just have like 1 health. And so I thought we might be able to get a good Fleet Feather Tracker hook in. Not going to happen against the barrier play, but I feel like that's probably not how he wants to spend his turn. Okay. Whatever. Just, what else are you gonna say about that turn? He's going, yeah, whatever. We can handle a 3-bank pretty nicely here, so it's not that horrible.
Take the children to safety now. They need time.
Pretty good attack. I mean, if he has to spend a spell to save his 2/2, that's fine. Fleet Feather Tracker is quickly getting outclassed. I think that worked out okay. If he wants to activate his Shen, he's going to have to play another unit. Like, that all seems reasonable. Ooh, Sharp Sight. I feel like we have to get 3 Sharp Sights back into this deck now that we know that it gives out Elusive. I think that's just literally insane that this passes out a keyword like that. Not surprised to see the good dude come down. But what up, Shen? We're bigger than you, bruh. Here's the 1 health unit I was thinking of that I thought we might get in the way of their plans on turn 2. You really want to load this dude up with barriers, and so. So can we get evolved, right? Say he attacks with everyone here. We block something with the Bruiser. We hit a Lucky Charm that we can actually use. So we have that one. It would have to be like tough. We're looking to hit quick attack off Kaisa and then elusive off of the sharp sight.
You living?
He's about to get up to some kind of shenanigan here with this bruiser, but I think this is okay. I don't think he would just be throwing Shen away. He gives him barrier. All right. We can wait until next turn. What does this do? If we sharp sight the ability onto Kaisa. Interesting. Interesting. So here, I'm going to put the ability onto... I think we want to put it onto the Elder. We have the option to where we can either push Challenger plus Formidable onto Kaisa, or we can give her the Spell Shield, and I think we just want to give her Spell Shield. So I'm going to put the bonus onto our smaller unit here, and then we pick up Challenger that way. It doesn't give us the boost we need to flip our Kaisa, but it is one of the abilities that's going to push over onto her. And okay, so here's what we're doing. I don't... this is not like the good play of the day. I'm really just curious what happens here, right? So we're going to sharp sight our unit that we're going to copy stuff over to. I guess we could have waited around before we did that, but I really want to see what happens when we push this can block elusives over to Kaisa. Let's see what happens. Just has can block elusives is apparently a keyword. It's a keyword we didn't know was a keyword. Okay. So that wasn't the greatest of turns. Again, I wanted to just see what happened there. Hopefully we can still make this turn work. We still have decent hooks. We can do something like this. These all get to hit, and then we'll just pull Shen out of combat. Then we can get the Kaisa flip next turn off of the barrier from Golden Aegis. Okay, so that wasn't so bad.
Here is where we make our stand.
All right, we've already got all of these, so we'll just give her +2 attack. We're not gonna, given our board, we're not gonna shift anything over to Kaisa, and so if we missed on the keywords, I wanted her to just pick up some stats. I think I would have rather had plus like health, but whatevs. It'll be okay. And his is nowhere near flipping. Uh-oh. Oh god, he's got the double attack boat though. Right, give an ally barrier, draw Shen, allies with barrier have double attack. He's nowhere near lethal though. I got barriers too, bro. Check it. I got him too.
We have something the void will never understand. Me.
He's got second skins. What does that let him push like double attack onto Kaisa? It's interesting.
I know what they are. I know how to destroy them.
That was a pretty good spot to be picking up 2 keywords. I couldn't tell if that was a champion of flip or he just naturally had the card. He naturally had it. Okay. So he's going to be coming in with this big double attacking overwhelm in the middle.
Hide from the light.
It's 22, so we're going to have to put something in front.
Back in your hole.
Where does this get us? Lethaled. Ugh.
They've breached.
Die, creature!
Alright, that takes us to 1. Ah, what an unfortunate turn. But we're chalking that one up to the learning experience. Good to know what happens with the sharp sight. It's not actually elusive. That's so weird that that's a keyword though, and that can block elusives. I'm surprised they don't just like attach a name to it or something. That's strange. Reach, if you will. maybe they should just call it reach. All right, the final battle is here. There has to be like overlap with other games' keywords, right? I've never. I'm not current enough on Magic to know what all they've been using these days, but there has to be at least like one. And if not across tier, like across all of the other games, I guess you have to probably be careful with Magic. They just sue you. Wizards was getting pretty sue happy there in the early 2000s, and people trying to take their patent on tap and stuff. So I guess you got to be real careful with them. All right, let's see how this one goes. We won't play any exploratory sharp sights this game. Maybe that'll lead to some more victories when we can actually trade with their units. What'd you pick up? Fury? That's a pretty garbage ability. Fury up our 1/1 unit here.
Don't want to die? Don't do terrible things.
These people really like playing Evelyn and Kaisa though. It's too bad we don't have the punish on the fading husk. Oh man, and he hits elusive. That's one of the phrases we're going to be saying with some frequency in the future. Is oh boy, oh boy, he hit elusive. At least I think the perk here is he's like a turn away from playing Evelyn and 2 turns away from playing Kaisa. So if he really wants to save up the elusive for one of his big plays, then he just can't do it right now.
We love it when they run.
I will do what I can.
Okay, we'll look to quick attack challenge down the Elder next turn. It's probably worth just open attacking. We're not going to get a ton of value out of this like Vagabond attack, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'd love to get the blaster down, but then we can't sharp sight if we have to. I really want to get this Elder off of the board. Maybe the Vagabond's safe enough. Like, what's the worst that happens? He plays his own like Void Blaster, and then we just have to trade it with our Merciless Hunter. We still get the quick attack challenge into action. That all seems fine.
This is justice.
We'll get our licks in.
Oh, it's gonna be a quicksand. Maybe we should have played around quicksand. Kill an ally, deal 2 to a unit, and then summon a husk. Why wouldn't he just kill off like Salter? How much does this thing cost? 2? Well, I mean, either way, his unit's gonna go. Interesting. He's getting all the quick attacks. Look out. No sarcasm in that statement. Alright, so we've just got some gigantic quick attacker. This feels kind of awkward without challengers, but I think we're okay for the moment. We could just drop Kaisa. He's not doing anything else relevant this turn, right? He's Shurima, so he's not going to make any spells that are relevant, I should say. We got to be a little bit more worrisome about Quicksand next turn, but for the spells right now, I think we're okay. And here I'm looking to just like make an open attack and then Golden Aegis after the fact. Well, It's kind of tough, I guess. I I keep thinking we have challengers on the board because we play so many and then we just don't. Would we ever just want to go Sandstone Charger here? He does have some pretty decent blockers. He gets to put the Solitude directly in front of Kaisa. I don't think I'm super amped about that. But it's like we're pretty far away from having good Cataclysms this turn. Alright, let's just draw. Merciless Hunter's just kind of what we need. I want to just be interactive on this board with Kaisa. The downside is it's not like we can't use it and Golden Aegis. I'm going to pick up the Shaped Stone. That's going to let us just do what we want. He's going to block Kaisa. We can play Shaped Stone and then Golden Aegis after the fact. And then if he wants to come in and block Kaisa with Solitude, even if he has the Quicksand, we can still Shape Stone out of it to protect her. I think that's all well and good.
I know that look.
Okay.
Here's where we make
He's got a Kaisa of his own. Might just be able to lethal here. Oh, he's got an extra unit. I was like, if we get to drop our Voidling, there's a decent chance we can just get through this. Right, we could have maybe gotten in for 4 from the Merciless Hunter, 2 from the Shapestone, 1 from the Voidling. But not quite how that panned out. This thing's okay. I want to save our Shapestone to protect Kaisa here.
Villains beware.
I've got eyes.
I played it and then I was like, oh fuck, did we just miss the lethal on that? But no, I think we're okay. Now we have the mana next turn to where we can drop the evolved Void Blaster and then Cataclysm into a unit, maybe get a kill that way. If he comes in and drops a Husk and we get to Cataclysm into it, then we'll be pretty close to lethal. We're 1 short at this point, but hopefully this play is also just kind of hard to see coming.
Every move just makes me stronger.
Ripped it. GG. And so, all right, not a bad set of games. I really liked a lot of the ideals here. And then there's definitely some room for improvement. And so let's get this this pulled up and we'll talk about it a little bit more. And so I think kind of like first and foremost, the thing is, if at least in like the next coming days, like the next 3 or 4 days, as people are out here trying to test all of their various Husk decks, I think the challengers are going to be exceptionally good. It's such a strong play to just be able to hook down one of those Husks. It just cancels, like, not only, I guess, like, I should say, not only is it just like a free attack into the unit that they can't really do anything about, but it cancels out some of their strategy, right? They need those slays or they need the Evelyn boosts or whatever. If you take the Husks off the board, they have to start doing a lot of more work to get their things going. And so it's nice getting those kind of free hooks, and it does help you avoid those turns where it's like, okay, well, I've got this Challenger Fleet Feather Tracker on the board, but my opponent has a board full of 3/3s. And so it's like, okay, well, I guess I just can't attack with it, or I have to just like hook something away so my other stuff can do something. You tend to have like very good challenges all of the time. And so I think, the Fleet Feather Trackers, the Petricite Broadwings, the various challengers of the world are going to be pretty interesting over the next couple of days. Are they going to be good, 2 weeks from now? That's a different story to be told. But as we're out here battling Husks and as we're seeing tons of them on the ladder, the challengers are definitely good. The other things that I was kind of at least getting a feel for out of this, I didn't really like the Voidling. I felt like it kind of filled a purpose, but I never like really wanted it. You're looking for cards that are, good early, good late, and if they aren't good early, then they're very good late, and if they aren't very good late, then they're at least very good early, right? And so you have your cards that are good all the time, like Draven. You have your cards that are good in the early game, bad late, like Legion Rearguard, and then whatever 7-drop of choice is probably good late, but not good in the early game. But this doesn't really have any space in the game to where it feels like it's good and strong. It just feels like it's like one stat too small. It needs to be like a 4-3 or a 3-4 or something to really be relevant. And like I can see it to need to drop the keywords in a bind, but I wasn't really impressed with the Voidling. But I was pretty happy with everything else. The Elder was quite good. The Void Blaster was exceptionally good. I know there's some like higher cost keyword cards we didn't play, but those are just kind of like game endery kind of things and not really activators. I'm really interested in the activators and then activating our Kaisa. And so to that end as well, I wasn't like, I didn't hate the Bruiser, but I didn't really like it. One of the things I was considering in this spot is still just playing Screeching Dragon. Screeching Dragon does add in Fury, which is it's a very tough keyword to. we're not going to find too many Fury units out here, and so I could see looking to replace him with more Challenger Dragons, or there's other keywords that we can kind of pursue. But I think kind of the path forward with this deck is probably replacing out the Bruisers, even though they are very well statted, right? I mean, a 5/5 is pretty meaty. He can handle a Kaisa on his own. He can trade with an Evelyn if she hasn't caught too many stats. And so he does have some usages in here, but it didn't feel... It felt very medium. It was very lukewarm, right? It wasn't bad, but I wasn't like, wow, this Vicaran Bruiser is extremely good. And so I could definitely see a world where we like cut the Voidlings, we max out on the Elders. Maybe we just play like 1 or 2 Bruisers and then fit in like Challenger Dragons, and then we can just look for keywords elsewhere. There's a handful of cheaper style plays that have keywords attached to them. And then maybe we even just like look away from Akshan, right? I did like Akshan in here. I like a lot of these concepts to where we're playing with like the Kaisa's Second Skin and the Bruiser and these other cards that activate his abilities, but he's not like a must play by any means. I'm pretty sure I'm still really happy with Akshan, but he's not something that is a definite lock-in. And then in terms of these other cards, there weren't too many spots to where we like really wanted Supercharge. I didn't really get a good feel if I liked Supercharge more than something like Rite of Negation, and so I'm just going to let that one kind of go. But I would definitely want to get 3 copies of Sharpsight in here. I don't know if that is an oversight in terms of the elusive thing, or it's a keyword they haven't named, but having the Sharpsight count as a keyword is incredibly powerful on these combat tricks, and this definitely belongs with more copies in our deck. And so keep that one in mind as well as you go out here and play Kaisa. But overall, I was pretty happy with this. A good collection of games, definitely untuned, but still having a lot of success, and something that we can look to definitely tune up and bring into gauntlets and play around with. I was really happy with how a lot of this played out. And I can definitely see that there's going to be lots of potential with Kaisa. We ought to just come out here and make our Kaisa Ravenbloom Conservatory deck and get her flippability going with with Tybalak. That's going to be the next place here. We're going to generate our keywords with Tybalak, and we're going to generate them with Tibbers. And that's the way of the world. We'll save that video for another day. But a pretty good start, a nice little kickoff for the new set, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well. And so that will do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. I hope your keywords fall as RNGesus would want them to. I hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.